Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode here in NHL 24. And just before we get started in the episode, I might be a little bit low energy today because the last few days I've been battling a flu. I haven't really eaten much, and I also haven't really slept much too, so I might sound a little groggy in this episode, hopefully not too bad. But anyways, in last episode, we simulated the rest of the season after trading away Lannon, and our team finished 61-20-1. We did kind of fall off a little bit in the second half if you compare our first half to the second half. However, we obviously still won the President's Trophy once again, so it's kind of crazy how much President's Trophies our coach has won at this point in time. Because if we go over to Vivirios, you can see Vivirios has won us now a total of 6 President's Trophies and 5 Stanley Cups, so we're going for a 6th Stanley Cup with him as head coach. And his numbers have just been insane every year he's been with us. I believe this is the best season he's ever had in terms of wins, because you can see 61 wins there, 58 wins last season, 60 the year before, 55, 58, 56. Like, this guy is definitely one of the best coaches I think I've ever seen. And then in terms of the playoffs, you can see the 4 Stanley Cups in the last 5 seasons. And then we also had one way back here in 2031 as well. So in the 2030s altogether, we have 5 Stanley Cups. And obviously we're looking to get some more of them in these next few episodes as well, if possible. So very excited to see what our team can do potentially against the Seattle Kraken team. We don't really play Seattle that often in the playoffs. I don't know if we ever really did in the series so far, but I will show you guys their lineup again just in case you forgot. I feel like we haven't played them before, but if we did, it was probably way back in the early stages of the series, like probably when we had like Kyle Connor and whatnot. But this is what Seattle's looking like. And they have some very good center depth, as you can see, like Howe, Verada, McCauley, and Tierney. Their right wing depth and their left wing depth isn't super insane. They do have a good top line, but afterwards it's kind of like third liners like Huttunen, Järvinen. So I wouldn't really say their forward core is super good on paper. It does have former player Brad Lambert, which is interesting. Their defense is okay as well. It's not terrible, but it's definitely not solid in like the most insane defense I've ever seen. Now, these 81s are listed as top 4 defenders, so maybe they're actually better than we expect. So their defense ain't too bad right there. And then goaltending-wise, they have a guy named Bernard Lacerte who had a very good regular season. He didn't play a ton of games, so I'm expecting he was injured partway through the season. But he had a .920 save percentage through 46 games, which is definitely really good. And then if you go back to his seasons where he actually had full seasons, he had a .915 save percentage, a .912, a .913. Like, this guy's definitely a decent goaltender. Yeah. Playoff-wise, not really so much. Obviously, playoff-wise, he's made some good games. Like, it looks like in 2035, 36, and 34, 35, he was okay. But, like, obviously last year, having an 893 save percentage through 5 games, that's not very good. Now, we don't really have the best goalies in terms of playoffs as well. So I don't really know if our goaltending is going to be better than it was last year or if it's going to go back to the way it was the year before that, where Bergfist was actually really good in one playoff run, and then last year he was really bad. So it's going to be interesting to see if our team's able to play a bit better defensively than it has in the last number of years. As you can see with goaltenders, with Bergfist, very good regular season goalie during last season, but then in the playoffs he had an .868 save percentage, yet we still won the Stanley Cup. But you go to the years before, he had .920 save percentages through 28 games, which is insane. And obviously winning the Stanley Cup in 2037, and a big piece of that Stanley Cup winning team at that point in time. So we'll see if Bergfist could return to form. If not, we might have to make tough decisions in the offseason between him and Mills as our future goalie. So will be interesting to see what this team's looking like in the next few years, because obviously we'll probably have to make some adjustments accordingly. We might have to move somebody out in the top 6 eventually too, to get like Blunden into the top 6, Bulbrook into the top 6, that type of thing. So this roster could definitely go through a bit of changes, but obviously right now we're still trying to keep the core intact and win another Stanley Cup. So anyways, let's get into the one and only comment we got in the last episode, and then we'll get into this first round matchup with the Seattle Kraken. So that comment is from Sanrentaku, says, I would favor keeping Bickle because his position is more valuable. Goal scoring wingers are a dime a dozen, and with your drafting record, I have no doubt you'll easily find somebody to replace Wilson. So he's saying basically once we get to the offseason, if we decide to move out from one of these top 6 guys, that moving out from Caden Wilson would probably make more sense than moving out from Bickle, which I agree, because obviously I don't think Hansen really is that type of guy that could be into the top 6. He's a two-way forward, so I think third line center is like kind of the perfect spot for him. But yeah, obviously Wilson we could easily replace by getting Bulbrook into the top 6 or Blunden. So Yeah, I think that would probably make the most sense. Wilson's actually listed as a first-line forward, which is interesting. However, his numbers have been kind of dropping off since his 106-point season. He has still been really good, 35 goals, 72 points, but obviously we're paying him a ton of money, and I don't really like that contract really that much at the moment. I'm hoping, obviously, he has a little bit of a resurgence in the playoffs, and maybe it makes me think twice, but $10.1 million is quite a bit of money for a guy that's only going to put up 70-something points. Now, he does make a living also in the playoffs. He's at 108 points in 123 playoff games, and his shooting percentage actually even goes up by 0.8%. So his playoff numbers definitely have made me think twice that we may not want to move out from him, but at the same time, I think it would probably be the best move because I do like Jaquezie. Ekholm's obviously untouchable. Irving's untouchable. Walter's untouchable because he just got an extension. Bickle is the only real other one that we could move from. And Bickle's not really got that long term of contract. His money is also not super bad. And also, like Sarantak was mentioning, centers are very important in a sense. And I think Bickle's been a little bit more consistent in a sense. And his playoff numbers have also been pretty good, especially last year. So I think if we're going to move somebody, it would be Caden Wilson probably to the bunch. But anyways, there's that, and I'm kind of overheating wearing this Winnipeg Jets jersey right now, and I was debating not wearing it just because obviously being sick and I have a little bit of a fever from time to time, but I wanted to still wear it because I thought there would be kind of like, if I didn't wear it, I thought we were going to lose in the first round, so I got to keep wearing this Winnipeg Jets jersey, even though technically I feel like I'm sweating like crazy right now. Like I probably got to drink a lot more water in this episode than usual. But anyways, there's that. Let's get into this first round matchup and see if we can beat the Seattle Kraken. They're 8-1-1 in our last 10 games going into the playoffs, which has me a little bit scared. But at the same time, our team had a worse second half, so I feel like we're going to be a little bit stronger in the postseason because of that. So can we take out the Kraken and get to the second round again? And can we just go on another run this season? What's interesting is Buffalo's in the playoffs. Buffalo's obviously been a good team. We've played them multiple times in the Cup Finals. Philadelphia fell off a little bit this season, but they're still in the playoffs, so I think they're probably going to end up winning the Stanley Cup this year for some reason. But you also have Anaheim in the playoffs again, so will be interesting to see what Anaheim does this season, considering Anaheim has always kind of fallen apart just because we've been able to beat them in the playoffs. And then when they did get to the finals, they lost to the Buffalo Sabres a couple years back. So anyways, here we go. Game number 1 on home ice. Can we keep the momentum rolling from the regular season and start it off with a good success on home ice for the playoffs? If Bergfist isn't good, like I said, we might have to make some adjustments. But first period of game number 1. 2-0 us. Good start. Good start. Short-handed goal from Caden Wilson. Of course, because we were talking about potentially trading him in the offseason, he has to be the one that scores first in the playoffs. A short-handed goal that I'd like to see. And then Scarlett scores of all people. So a goal from an unlikely player and then a goal from a guy that is always really good in the playoffs that we were talking about potentially trading. So kind of interesting on that front. Shots are 10-6 in favor of us, but we're up by 2 goals. Can we get some insurance in the second period or just keep it the same so that way we have an easier time potentially locking it down in the third period? Second period. 2-1. Okay, so the Kraken are on the board with Järvinen. So that's their second line left wing or right wing. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was left wing because I think it was Huttunen on the right side. Shots are 21-18 in favor of the Kraken. We're up by 1 goal. Looks like Bergfist is playing a little bit better so far to start this playoffs, which is great. Can we get insurance to make us feel safer? Because being only up by 1 goal on this Kraken team, you never know what they could do. Third period underway. Come on, guys. Let's get that next one. Let's get that next one. Just get some insurance, make me feel safe, and hopefully we can hold on to this. Final 10 minutes of the third period, still up by 1 goal. It's a close game right now. Final few minutes. Still up by that 1 goal. Can we lock it down? Yes, we can. We win 2-1. So it wasn't the most flashiest offensive effort like we are used to with this Winnipeg Jets team, especially after last year. Because last year we were scoring so many goals per game. But this one, a nice 30-save performance from Bergfist. So Bergfist might be returning to form. Obviously last year he played pretty terribly. Didn't make a single save hardly in the playoffs. But this year he starts off with a nice 30-save performance in a 2-1 victory. So Scarlett's goal is the game winner. Interesting. So Wilson from Vernarski and Scarlett from Reese and Bickle. And then they have Järvinen's goal right there as well. Not too bad. Let's take a look at some player stats here. Wilson was a +2. Like to see it. And yeah, 968 from Bergfist. If Bergfist plays like that every game, he's definitely going to still be here for years to come. So, Bergfist first star, Scarlett the second star, and Wilson the third star. So, yeah, if Bergfist continues playing like that, I would assume Mills would be the goalie that we'd end up getting rid of. But obviously, Bergfist is inconsistent at times, so I'm expecting him not to play as good in this next game. But if he plays good in this next game, then we might have ourselves a goalie that's actually going to play like a goalie, like 2 years ago. So, anyways, up 1-0 in the series. I think we got to keep it the same. Obviously, the offense could be better, but I think our offense will randomly find itself at some point because obviously we have some really good stud players. So I'm expecting them to find themselves in game 2. If they don't find themselves, maybe we make adjustments. It depends if it's a win or a loss, I guess. But let's see what happens in game number 2. Still on home ice. Can we take a 2-0 series lead? And can Bergfist play 2 straight games where he's actually really good? First period of game number 2. 2-0 us again. Okay. I like this start. Reason opens the scoring. So we're getting some goals from some unlikely players. And an Aiden Irving scores on the power play. So good to see Aiden on the board. Obviously, he won the Richard during the regular season with 59 goals. So that was his first Richard in his career. And this could be one of his last playoff runs potentially, depending on how good we are next season, because Aiden Irving is getting up there in age. He will likely become our first retirement candidate for this roster, which kind of sucks. Shots are 14-10 in favor of the Kraken, yet we're up by 2 goals. So a good first period again from Bergfist. He's looking pretty dialed in here early on. Hopefully he can keep it up and to the second period and stuff like that, because if our team could take another game good defensively, Bergfist might be actually finally returning to form. Like last year, he was so bad though. He was like blowing games all the time in the third period. So I'm a little bit skeptical still, but you never know what could happen if a goalie could all of a sudden find himself. So like maybe our defense is just better in front of him too. We'll see what happens in the second period. Second period, 3-0 us. Let's go. Caden Wilson. Another goal for Caden. He's got 2 goals in 2 games. Shots are 26-23 in favor of the Kraken, yet we're up 3-0. So it has been a very good performance so far from Bergfist. Once again, we're up by 3 goals. Can we lock this down and take a 2-0 series lead headed to Seattle? Come on, boys. I believe in yous. Just got to lock it down. Yeah, so far this has been a good return to form for our defensive core and goaltending as Järvinen scores on Bergfist to make it 3-1 penalty kill. And we get a shorthanded goal again from Will Vandermeer. So 2 shorthanded goals in the first 2 games of the series for our team. And we're going to win 4-1. Another great performance from Per Bergfist. 37 saves. And we scored 2 shorthanded goals in 2 games. And we are all of a sudden up 2-0 in the series. Let's go, boys. Yeah, okay, so this is much better because obviously last year I really liked how good offensively we were, but I didn't like how we allowed so many goals in the playoffs. This year we're scoring an average amount of goals, but we're barely giving up anything so far. So I kind of like this type of play a little bit better than the full-on offense, but it's really good to see that there's multiple versions of the same team. So Reason from Hansen and Vandermeer, Irving from Ekholm, Wilson from Bickle, and then we have Vandermeer shorthanded from Bickle. Nice. So Bickle's got like 3 assists to start the series as well, which is great. So Vandermeer had 2 points, Bickle had 2 points, and some guys on 1 point. Any badly minus guys? No, Irving and Ekholm are only -1, and a 974 save percentage from Bergfist. So Bergfist is definitely making a name for himself here early on, which is great. Vandermeer the second star, and Bickle the third star. Okay. So yeah, if Bergfist could continue that into Seattle, we might actually have ourselves a playoff goalie right now, which is good. Wow, the Ducks are currently down 2-0 to the Canucks in the first round. Yeah, the Ducks are definitely a team that definitely should have been better and won a Stanley Cup in the series at one point, but they haven't. So that's kind of nuts. Philly's up 2-0 on the Islanders. Like I said, I think Philly is definitely a candidate to win a Stanley Cup this season, and Buffalo and Ottawa are currently tied. I think Philadelphia is going to somehow win the Eastern Conference and get to a Cup Finals. So that's my guess. If we have to play them in a Stanley Cup Finals, I think they might have the upper hand just because they finished lower in the standings. But you never know. Never know, because last year they were insanely good. This year they fell off a little bit. So anyways, let's get to Game 3. I think we got to keep the roster the exact same. We're outscoring them 6-2. Let's see if we could have another good defensive game, because obviously playing in another team's arena is a bit harder defensively than playing on home ice. So let's see if we could have a good game from Bergfist on the road as well. Come on, Bergfist, you got this. First period of game number 3. 2-1 us. Okay, we do give up a goal in the first period and was the opening goal from Chorney. But Ekholm scores and Walter scores. And we're up 2-1. So once again, we have the lead after the first period. The first 3 games of the series, we've actually scored 2 goals in each of the first periods of the game. So that's nice. Shots are 11-8 in favor of us, but it's a 2-1 game. Can we have a good defensive second period and maybe get some insurance for the third period? Second period. 3-1, let's go. Let's go. Reese of all people. Yeah, we're getting a lot of goals from guys that I wasn't expecting, like Reese, Reason, Scarlett. It's really good to see that our entire lineup is showing up in this first round. Shots are 25-17 in favor of us, and we're up 3-1. So far, Bergqvist hasn't had to face as much rubber as he did on our home ice, but he's still been playing good. Let's see if we could lock this game down in the third period and take a 3-0 stranglehold. Come on, boys. You got this. Tanner House score is not great. So there's the first 2-goal game for the Seattle Kraken of this playoff run. Come on, guys. You got to hold them off. You can do it. We're the Pirates on the ship, and we're fighting off this Kraken that is in the water. We got this. We got this. Take out your sword, chop off its limbs, do whatever you have to. Final few minutes, and there's Jaqueezy. Wasn't even an empty net goal, but we're going to win 4-2. A 25 save effort from Bergqvist. And we win by 2 goals. So not as good as the prior 2 games, but still our offense found itself. And once again, we now have a 3-0 series lead and are 1 win away from the second round. This is a team I like to see. So Ekholm from Vandermeer and Walter. Walter from Backer and Bickle. That's a bit of a tongue twister. Reese from Wilson and Bickle. And then we had Jaqueezy from Irving and Backer. Nice. Nicely done. Walter the first star, Bickle the second star, and Bergqvist actually got third star still, surprisingly. So Bergqvist has been a star in every single game so far. So that is definitely the storyline going forward, is if Bergqvist could actually continue playing like this. Because if he can, he definitely could give us a good chance at winning, because our offense should be able to find itself for the most part in most of these playoff runs. Did our HL team make the playoffs this year? They did. So shout out to Manitoba for making it to the playoffs. They will be taking on the Rockford Ice Hogs. I don't think they've made the playoffs in a couple of years, so that's really good to see as well for our future prospects. Okay, so we have a 3-0 stranglehold. We've only given up 4 goals in 3 games, so we've been playing some good defensive hockey. We've also scored 10 goals in 3 games, so our offense has been solid. The Ducks did win their next game, okay. Philadelphia is also up 2-1, and Buffalo's up 2-1. All right. Okay, let's get to this next game and see if we can pull off the sweep and knock out the Kraken and get ourselves to that second round. I don't really want to record too much today because I'm still kind of getting over this cold a bit. Like, I'm not at that puking stage where I used to be, but still I just feel a little bit lightheaded from recording right now and wearing this jersey. So anyways, can we pull off the sweep and knock out the Kraken? Come on, boys. Let's be the Pirates and knock out the Kraken again. First period of Game 4. 2-2. Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it considering we were down 2-0 and we got outshot 20-11 in that first period. So that's definitely not on Bergqvist to give up those 2 early goals. The Kraken definitely had a little bit of a surge under their ass because they could get swept here. They get up 2 goals in the first 5 minutes of the game. Then Walter Timmins scores his first goal of the playoffs, his first ever career playoff goal. Bulbrook scores to tie it up. But the shots 20-11, they definitely outplayed us completely in that first period. But we still have a tie game, which is good. So that's 4 straight games now with 2 goals in the first period for our team. The question is now, is Bergqvist going to still play good in that second period? Because obviously he's faced a ton of shots. He might be a little bit tired. I hope he's not. I hope our offense could find a way to get that lead despite being outplayed. Second period. 4-3 us. Okay, there we go. We're being outshot 29-23, so that period we definitely outplayed them. Bulbrook gave us the lead on a power play goal early on. They get a power play goal from Verada, and then Aiden Irving scores a power play goal to give us back the lead. So 3 power play goals combined by the 2 teams in that period. We're up by 1 goal. We're being outshot 29-23, but we're still up by a goal. Not the best game from Bergqvist compared to his other games. I don't think he's going to be a 3-star in this game, but at least our offense has still been consistent with the 4 goals or more a game. So let's see what happens in this third period. See if we could lock this down and take out the Kraken. Come on, boys. I believe in you. Just get some insurance. Make us feel safe. Caden Wilson. I love Caden Wilson, but Shorney gets Seattle back within 1 again, and Gill ties it up. And Peltonen gives them the lead. Oh, no, Bergqvist. Don't return to your last year's performance, man. I'm going to still probably play you next game, but I hope that you're okay, man. If there's another game, that is. Penalty kill again. Stop taking penalties. Power play for us. Can we tie it up? No, we cannot. Final few minutes. And we're going to lose 6-5, as that is definitely not the type of game we like to see. We give up 6 goals on 37 shots, 3 unanswered goals, and we scored 5 goals on 41 shots. At least our offense was good, but Bergqvist, definitely not a great game there. I kind of feel like we could get reverse swept, but at the same time, I just don't want to keep that in my mind. So Timmins from Vandermeer, Bulbrook from Blunden and Hansen, Bulbrook from Irving and Bickle, Irving from Vandermeer and Walter, Wilson from Goddard and Bickle, but then we blew the lead. Damn, man, that's not good. That is not good. And yeah, it's all Kraken players, 4 to 3 stars. Who was badly minus in that game? Nobody. Everybody was -1 pretty much, though, which is not ideal. And then Bergqvist was an .838 save percentage. See, that's the Bergqvist we know from last playoff run. So we definitely got to be a little bit better. We're going to keep him in because he played 3 great games. If he plays bad again, though, we might turn to Mills for a game. But we are going to make some defensive adjustments, I think, in front of Bergqvist, just because that performance is warranted of a little bit of changes in the lineup. We could even change up our forward group if we really want to, but I don't think there's anything I want to adjust. Somebody that's been really quiet to start the playoffs has been Blunden, though. Only to 1 assist in 4 games. Compared to his first ever playoffs, that's not very good. What do we want to do in terms of changes? Let's go with Vernarski and Vandermeer together. And Backer can play with Goddard. Yeah, we'll go with that. See if that can work out some things. Yeah, we'll go with that. Goalie-wise, Bergqvist, hopefully he can play better. And that's good. Okay. We'll see if we're able to weather the storm that the Kraken are trying to bring. Obviously, we're still up 3-1 in the series, which is great, but obviously that last game wasn't really characteristic of how we played in the first 3 games, so we got to be a little bit better in terms of goaltending. Our offense obviously still been good, because we've now scored a total of, I guess, if my math is right, 15 goals in 4 games, but we also just gave up 6 goals. So, that's not ideal. Anyways, let's get into Game 5, see if we can close out the Kraken on home ice. We've been good on home ice so far. Can we get a response after a tough last game? First period. Come on, Bergqvist, you got this. 1-0 Kraken. Gill opens the scoring late in the first period. So not a bad first period from Bergqvist considering last game, but obviously trailing after 1 is not ideal because we had scored 2 goals in the first period of every game up to this point. So shots are 12-10 in favor of us, but we're down by a goal. Can we find a way to get even and get a goal back? Because obviously, if our offense dries up, that's going to be a problem if Bergqvist can't keep the puck in it as well. Second period. Come on, guys. You got this. McCauley makes it 2-0. Man, we might be going to a Game 6. We might be almost pulling off what the Florida Panthers did in the Cup Finals, but obviously the Florida Panthers end up still winning. Oh my goodness, this is not great. Shots are 23-21 in favor of the Kraken. We're down by 2 goals. At least it's been a better performance from Bergqvist, but our offense is a little bit quiet here early on. And we're going to the third period down by 2 goals. Can we get some goals, please, boys? Get ourselves back in it. Aiden Irving, the captain, has got us on the board. Can we tie it up? Because he's always a spark plug for this team. Can we tie this one up? Come on, boys, please. Wilson, somebody. Maybe Blunden, because Blunden's had some big goals in his career already. And we're going to lose 2-1. Oh, no. The fact that we've lost both these games by 1 goal has me concerned. A good performance from Bergqvist, the respawn from last game, but our offense all of a sudden has been a little bit quiet. Ooh, it's not good. So Irving from Janqueezy and Ekholm is the only goal. Yeah, Bergqvist was great. He was great. So he's had mostly every game so far. He's been good. But our team all of a sudden just could not find ways to score goals. And now we're going to a Game 6 back in Seattle. I think I got to make some more adjustments. Vernarski wasn't even injured. I guess he was like partially injured. But we need to win this game or else we're going to Game 7 and we could get reverse swept. If we get reverse swept, this game is honestly just trying to cheese us out of another Stanley Cup. It's simple as that. Because we shouldn't be able to have problems like this in the playoffs. But let's get some adjustments going here. What do I want to do? Let's go with Wilson on the top line with Irving and Ekholm. And we'll do Janqueezy, Bickle, and Walter. Blunden, Hansen, Bulbrook still. Yeah, the rest of us could stay the same, I guess. And then defensively, let's go back to Vandermeer and Backer. And we'll go back to Goddard and Vernarski again. Yeah, I think the rest of that will stay the same. Who do I have scratched again? Oh, yeah, Lalonde. I don't think I really need Lalonde in the lineup. I feel like he's probably more of a... he's actually not bad defensively. We could put Lalonde in for Reese, but Reese did score a goal already in the series. He has been good. So we'll keep Reese in. And yeah, Bergqvist has probably been still good, except for that one game. So we will keep him in net, but hopefully he could find a way to get our team a chance to win the next game. And hopefully our offense shows up, because if our offense doesn't show up, that's a problem. Obviously, we could go to Mills at some point, but right now, obviously, Bergqvist has been probably the best player for this team in the series, I'd say, especially in terms of goaltending. So Bickle's definitely been the best offensive player, apparently with 7 assists so far through 5 games. So can we find a way to win in Seattle? Because if we don't win this, if we lose by 1 goal again, I think we might lose in Game 7. So I am a little bit scared that this team might all of a sudden fall apart here. Buffalo is on to the next round. The Flyers are now down 3-2 to the Islanders, so the Flyers might lose in round 1 as well, which would be a big surprise to me. But Buffalo going to the next round is big for them. Anaheim's up 3-2 on the Canucks now. They were down 2-0, so Anaheim might also get a chance at a cup this year. Who knows? Depends if we get knocked out or the Flyers get knocked out. But here we go. This is a massive game. Can we win this game and get ourselves to the next round, or are we going to a Game 7 back on home ice? Come on, guys, you got this. I'm going to do a real-time simulation for this game just because it feels like a very important game to this team. So can we win this game? Come on. We need our offense to show up as Tanner Howe opens the scoring for the Kraken. Not ideal. Not ideal. Come on, guys. Let's get a response. Hey, Aiden Irving. Yeah, Aiden Irving's doing probably the best in terms of offense. He's been scoring relatively consistently. Shots are 17-11 in favor of the Kraken, but it's a 1-1 game. So great first period again from Bergqvist. We need more out of that in the next period and also in the third. But we also need our offense to start showing up more consistently, because the last 2 games it's been pretty quiet. Only the 2 goals in 4 periods. So can we get a way to get the lead? We have not had the lead since since we blew the lead in game number 4. So come on, guys, let's get it done. Let's get the lead in the second period, please. Macaulay scores, so Kraken have the lead. Power play for us. Do we have a response to that? We do not, apparently. We still have a lot of time left on the clock to get this game tied up, guys. I believe in you. Think of all those cups we've won, all those Presidents trophies. Just find a way to tie this game up, and maybe we have a chance to win another one. And we're down 2-1 going into the third. Our offense has definitely fallen off here since that 6-5-1. And that has me concerned completely. Bergqvist is still doing whatever he can to hold his team in the game, but our offense, aside from Aiden Irving, has been pretty quiet here, so that's not great. We're a period away from potentially going to a Game 7, but we're also a period away from potentially finding a way to win this game and get ourselves to the next round. So let's just win this period or tie this period up and then go to overtime, do whatever we must, but we need to find a way to win this. Come on, guys, please. Believe in Winnipeg. Let's do it. Let's do it. Come on, Jets. Yes, Aiden Irving, the captain, has tied the game up. Power play for us. It's a long power play, and they get a short-handed goal. No way. And they get a goal right afterwards. What is happening, man? Come on, guys. You had that long of a power play, and you gave up a short-handed goal. And then Lop had to score right afterwards, of course, just because I made fun of his name in the last episode, I think. And we're going to lose 4-2, and we are going to a Game 7 after we were up 3-0. Damn, man. This is not great. This is not great. Maybe I should just not have recorded today. Maybe I should have said, hey, I'm not recording the Jets episode this week either. Irving from Wilson, Irving from Eckelman Wilson. Irving's been so good, but the team around him has just not been able to find ways to score goals. That short-handed goal against, though, not ideal. Because, yeah, there was a high-sticking double minor early in the third period to Ferguson. And that's when we gave up the short-handed goal to Gill. Jeez, man. That's absolutely dreadful. That's absolutely dreadful. So we had a 3-0 series lead. I kind of felt like when we were playing good defensively that we were going to go to Game 7 somehow. But at the same time, I wasn't too sure. Oh, boy. Come on, guys. Don't blow this in. Holy crap. Did I just see what I saw? Yep. Literally every Western Conference series is going to a Game 7. So that's pretty nuts. The East has every series except for 2 going to a Game 7. So you have 6 Game 7s on belt in this first round. That's insane. So Buffalo and Pittsburgh, the only teams that are going to the next round via ease. So, It'll be interesting to see what other teams win in Game 7, but we need to make some adjustments to try and find ourselves a way to win. I just don't know what we want to do to try and get this team to win Game 7. Trying to think of what we could do here. Walter has played pretty bad too, to be honest. I'm going to get Blunden into the top 6 just because of prior... Blunden hasn't been good. He's been actually pretty dreadful, -5 in 6 games. But what he did last year in the playoffs, with the 7 goals in 10 games, I'm just trying to bank on the fact that he might be good in that top 6 again. So we'll get him up there. We will keep that third line like that. We'll go with Ekholm on the second line with Blunden, and then Bickle could play with Irving. Just try and get this chemistry as maximized as possible, so to speak. Because we shouldn't be blowing a series like this. Especially with our coach and how good our team is as well. Any minus defenders? Oh my goodness. Goddard is a -5. Okay, Goddard, you are going to the top pairing. And even though I love Vandermeer, he's going to the second pairing with Backer. Just because I need Goddard to play on a different line. Because -5 in 6 games is dreadful. Even though Vandermeer's been great, I think obviously just... I don't know if it's going to be good to giving Goddard more ice time, to be honest. He should be getting, like, probably on the top 6 pairing. You know what? Maybe we'll do that instead. I love Goddard, but he has just been dreadful as an offensive defenseman right now in the playoffs. Like, last few years, he's been fantastic, but this year, he's off to a slow start offensively and playing bad defensively. Like, something just doesn't add up right now. So, we'll get Goddard onto the top 6 pairing, give him less ice time, kind of bench him a little bit, so to speak. And Bergqvist will still stay in net for Game 7. Do I want to get Hagelin in the lineup? He was acquired from the New York Rangers. I could get Hagelin on the 4th line, but I don't really know if I would take anybody out. Nah. Ooh, Jesus. That third line. That third line has been pretty dreadful, to be honest, so that's not ideal. It's not ideal. I think I'm going to keep it like this. Okay. Well, Game 7. I didn't want to go to a Game 7 after being up 3-0. I thought our team has learned from the past and learned that we got to be able to win series early on. Because if we give a team a fighting chance, they might believe in themselves too much and find a way to win. So let's beat the Florida Panthers in this case. Let's close out this series and win in Game 7 after we almost blew a 3-0 lead. Come on, guys. Please. There's so many Game 7s. Let's be the one that win one of those Game 7s. Come on. I believe in you. I believe in you. At least it's on home ice, but still, we got to be mindful of the Seattle Kraken team. Come on, guys. You got this. We're getting a lot of shots early on, which is a good sign, but also Lacerte might be locked in. Because of that, Jaquezie opens the scoring. Good to see Arthur on the board, because I'm pretty sure he had not scored a goal yet. In the series, Walter Timmins, 2-0. Okay. Good start. Good start for our offense. Love to see it. Good to see that we have a 2-0 lead, and it is going to be a 2-0 lead after one with the shots 15-8. So that's exactly what we need from our guys to come out with the offense, and also goaltending to be as it's been the last few games as well. So 2-0 lead after the first period. Can we find a way to keep locking this down the rest of the way? Get some insurance as well. Let's just not let the Kraken think they could get back into this game. Come on, guys. I believe in you. This is Game 7. Let's do it. Let's do it. Second period underway, and Caden Wilson makes it 3-0. That could be the dagger, depending on the rest of this game. But that's a huge goal from Caden. As a long power play kills a lot of time off the clock, which I kind of like, but I was hoping that we would score on it, but it didn't happen. Peltonen gets the Kraken on the board to make it 3-1. But Vandermeer answers back to make it 4-1. Let's go, Vandermeer. That's a big answer. Because being up by only 2 goals is a little bit risky going into third, but being up by 3 is a little bit more breathable. Shots are 32-14 in favor of us, so we're completely outplaying them. And we're up by 3 goals because of it. This is exactly what I needed for my team after we almost blew this game. Like, definitely this team gave me a little bit of a scare, but if we could just hold them off in this third period, who knows what could happen in the second round and beyond that if we get past that second round as well. But let's see if we can lock this game down and get ourselves to round number 2. Come on, guys. Let's get her done. Walter makes it 5-1. That should be it pretty much at this stage. At least you would hope so. Verada making it 5-2, but we answer right back. Ekholm making it 6-2. We don't want to give that team a chance. And so far, our team is living up to the expectation here in Game 7. They should have probably closed it out in 4 games, but Game 7, I'll take it. And we're going to the second round once again. Let's go. Props to the Kraken for giving us a little bit of a scare, but we managed to knock them out, which is huge. We outshot them 45-25. We went 6-2. And we got an offense from a ton of different guys in that game. And that's exactly what I wanted in terms of a response. So Jaquezie from Ekholm and Blunden. That was Jaquezie's second goal of the playoffs, so he hadn't scored in a while. Timmins from Vernarski and Reason. Wilson from Bickle and Goddard. Vandermeer from Bulbrook and Walter. Walter from Backer and Vandermeer. And Ekholm from Irving and Vandermeer. 3 stars of the game. Vandermeer the first star. Walter the second star. And Ekholm the third star. So benching Goddard might have been a good thing for our team. Was Goddard minus in that game? He was +1. And he actually had an assist, so maybe we'll keep him on the top 6 for now. But he might start to complain a bit. But obviously he was pretty dreadful early on. But Vandermeer with 3 points in that game. A .920 save percentage from Bergqvist. Bergqvist has been good. And Vandermeer gets first star. I almost said Volter because friggin' Dutch pronunciation. And Ekholm the third star. Okay. Alright. Alright. Let's take a look at our player stats after that first round. And then we'll see who we're playing in round 2. So let's take a look at the first round stats. There's definitely going to be some plus minuses that aren't good on this team, but hopefully we can find ourselves a bit in the next round. So Bickle, 8 assists in 7 games. He was great. Obviously, it would be nice if he could score some goals too, but he's more of a pure playmaker. He is getting his chances, so he should be able to score sooner rather than later. Ekholm on 6 points. He needs to be a little bit better, but he was still good. Hansen on 2 assists. Hurd on nothing in 7 games, but he was +2, so that's good. Left wing side of things, Walter on 5 points. Timmins on 2 goals. Reason on 2 points. Blunden on 2 assists, but -6. Oh, that's not great. Considering Taylor Blunden had a really good season and almost won Rookie of the Year, you'd expect a little bit better out of him in the playoffs here. But so far, he's off to a little bit of a rough start. I think he'll find himself in the next round, but so far, he has been pretty bad. Right wing side of things, Irving, 8 points, 5 goals. Fantastic as usual. Wilson on 7 points. Bulbrook on 3. And Jaquezie only on 3. I need more out of Bulbrook and Jaquezie, I would say, on that right side. Defensively, Vandermeer on 8 points. He was fantastic. Backer on 3 points. Reese on 2 points. Goddard on 2 points. Renarski on 2 points. And Scarlett on 1 goal. Every defender had a point, which is nice. But Goddard being a -4, definitely an outlier on that defense. And in goaltending-wise, Bergqvist was fantastic. A .920 save percentage, so much better than last year when he was just not doing too well. All right. So in general, we had points from everybody on our roster except for Jamal Hurd. And in terms of plus-minus, we had, how many minus guys? 5 minus players. And they're all from different lines, which is interesting. All right. The question is now, who are we playing in round number 2? And is it a team we played before? Is it a team we played before? Let's see what we got here. The Chicago Blackhawks. Of course, it's Chicago. Chicago was the team that took us, made us lose our first game in 27 games. When we had our 27-game winning streak, they were the one to knock us out of that winning streak. So that's a little bit scary in that sense, but they aren't still the best team. They definitely had a really good start, though, to the year. And they fell off out of nowhere. So that has me really concerned. Because I remember when they knocked us off our winning streak, they were like 30-something and 11 and something. And it looks like they might have finished the season with only 16 wins in our last half of the season, if I'm not mistaken. I gotta definitely look at my last episode after this, but damn. They definitely didn't have as good of a second half just like us. But obviously we still won a good chunk of games. But so yeah, we're going to be taking on them again. Not a surprise. San Jose is going to take on Anaheim. So Anaheim is getting to the next round. So there is a chance there is going to be a rematch in the conference finals again, depending on things. But San Jose has also been better the last few years. You have Buffalo and the Rangers, Philly in Pittsburgh. So Philly's on to the next round again. Same with Buffalo. If we somehow get to a Cup Finals, there's a chance that we might be playing against one of those two teams. All right. Let's take a look at how Chicago did during the regular season and playoff simulation-wise, and then we'll take a look at the roster. Obviously, they should still have Connor Bedard because he hasn't retired yet at this stage. But yeah, they finished with 100 points. They were the last team in interdivision to make the playoffs. 23 points back of us. 61 win percentage. That's kind of surprising, to be honest. They scored less goals than us. They allowed more goals than us. Their power play was worse than us. And their penalty kill was dreadful. 75%. That has me a bit concerned about that. They had the exact same record on home ice and on the road. That's kind of weird. You don't see that often. 4-4-2 in their last 10 games. But the fact that they were the team that took us off our win streak has me very concerned. Because obviously that win streak was historic. So I'm a little bit nervous about that. But anyways, they went to Game 7 as well. Not a surprise. Most teams went to Game 7. They scored more goals per game than us, which is kind of a surprise. They gave up more goals against, though. Their power play was better than ours, and their penalty kill was dreadful again. Our penalty kill was actually better than theirs. We scored 2 short-handed goals to their 1. They were not good on home ice, but they were good on the road. We were good on home ice, but not good on the road. Yeah, this is going to be a weird second round for sure. Let's take a look at what Chicago's looking like. I would assume they still have Scarlett, our former goalie. But I'm not too sure how much of their roster's changed over the last few years, because I'm pretty sure they got knocked out earlier last year than normal. So this is what Chicago's looking like. First line, Ville Jokela, Connor Bedard, Dante Guerin. So Dante Guerin and Bedard have been there for a while. Ville Jokela, I think, is new to the roster. Yeah, he was brought in last year. And we did not play them last year in the playoffs. He's been pretty damn good. Yeah, he's been very good next to Bedard, so that's a bit scary. So very good top line. Second line, Angelo Giordano's still there. Desmond Green is still there, but that's a weak second line center behind Bedard. And then Samu Salmonen is also there. Third line, Alexander Holtz is still there. Joaquin Gertson's still there, and Magnus Dansk. Yeah, this team doesn't have super great depth, but they might be still good. And a fourth line is Shannon Baumgartner, Devin Gove, and Joachim Mattinen. I remember they had 2 Joaquins, but I'm not too sure if they have that other Joaquin still. But Joaquin Gertson definitely was there last time. Defensively, Kevin Korchinski still playing at 34. Michael Buchinger, AJ Couturier, Matthew Schaefer might be new as well. Brady Regier, and Vinny Iorio. All right. What about goalies? Is it still Scarlett? Yes, it is. Logan Scarlett's still there at 30 years old. Makes me happy that we made that trade with Chicago, that he's still playing for Chicago. He is a pending free agent, which is interesting, unless he already has an extension in place. But Scarlett has been pretty good this playoff run so far. A .926 save percentage through 7 games. Obviously, last year, he did really dreadful, though. A .788 through 4 games. Actually, maybe we did play them last year in the playoffs. I don't remember, to be honest. Because I remember Scarlett being really dreadful in the series against us, but I'm not too sure if that was that series or not. It's hard to remember because we've had so many playoff runs. Quincy Reed is their backup. And in depth-wise, they have Gordon Amonte, Kyle Stamkos, and Colton Quick. Yeah, this is an interesting team for sure. Obviously, it's Connor Bedard and Dante Guerin mostly, but also Jokela and Giordano. And the other guys aren't huge threats, but if they score, that makes them even better. Has Connor Bedard won a Stanley Cup in the series? I think he has, right? I think he has. Maybe not, actually. Oh, no, he probably won in 2030. Yeah, he did win in 2030 because that was with Nick Ehlers still on that roster. So he's only won 1 Stanley Cup in this universe, so we got to make sure he doesn't get a second for sure. Yeah, that's an interesting Blackhawks team. Interesting indeed. Let me actually take a look and see if they have any... I don't know, they don't have anybody injured, or else I would have showed them there probably on their roster, right? Let me just double check this for fun. I didn't want to go to AHL. Is their AHL team still in the playoffs or not too? Or did they get eliminated? Because they are playing Chicago's AHL affiliate, which is kind of interesting. They lost in the first round in 4 games. Well, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Shout out to Seth Baker, though. That's not good. Okay. Well, that's that, and I think that's pretty much it for this episode of our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode. So, in next episode, we'll take it to the second round of playoffs against Connor Bedard and the Chicago Blackhawks again, as we look to get to the conference finals. Obviously, the first round was a little bit of a scare, but I think if we find ourselves defensively like we did in that first round, we get good goaltending from Bergqvist, and our offense kind of finds itself more consistently. I think we definitely have a chance to go for another Stanley Cup this year, but obviously there's going to be some tough teams in our way potentially too. So anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.